what we're hearing out there in the market right now is that we don't have any inventory. There's an inventory deficit. We need more housing. We're at an all-time low in inventory. Guys, this is absolutely not true. I ran the numbers today. We actually have...
Live behind decisions I chose. Peaks feel good and the valleys get low. Chains for the tires in the rain, hail, snow. It's like this everywhere that I go, everywhere that I go.
Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. And today in this video, I just want to go over some of the changes that were proposed in Canada's 2024 budget related to real estate. We're going to jump right into it, okay? So I really actually like this change, and it's about the RRSP usage for first-time home buyers. Right now, the way that it is set up is that you can actually take out $35,000 out of it per person in a couple, or it could be combined of $70,000. So each person can take out $35,000. So you could take out a total of $70,000 tax-free to use for your first home purchase. And basically when you take that money out, you would have a 2-year grace period. And on the third year, you would start paying it back, and you would have 15 years to pay it back tax-free, returning that money back to your RRSP. The cool thing that they did now is that instead of $35,000, they've almost doubled it to $60,000. So that means if you're two of you guys buying this thing, you can each take out $60,000 from each of your RRSPs, making a total of $120,000 towards your down payment if you're a first-time buyer. And another tweak that they made is instead of you having to start paying it back in 2 years, you actually have 5 years before you have to start paying it back, but it still has to be paid back within 15 years tax-free. Another thing that they've actually done for first-time home buyers is with regards to new construction. So if you're a first-time home buyer buying new construction property, what they're saying is that they will actually let you do a 30-year amortization if you're putting less than 20% down. Typically, when you put more than 20% down, you have an uninsured mortgage, but with less than, and you can't get a 30-year amortization. But now, if you're buying a property that's less than $1 million and you're putting less than 20% down, you can actually get a 30-year amortization. I mean, it's going to be really good for you because you'll be able to qualify for a little bit of a higher mortgage, because overall your payments are going to be lower on your mortgage because you've added 5 years of amortization to that mortgage product. At the same time, obviously, because you're going to have a longer amortization, it could mean that you're actually paying overall more interest because you have that 5 extra years to pay it. I find this one to be a little bit could work, couldn't work kind of situation, is because it relates to new home construction. A lot of times where I've seen new home construction, you already have to make a deposit of about 20%. It could be staggered, but you're going to be making about a 20% deposit. Not everywhere, but a lot of cases you're putting 20% down already. So if you're putting 20% down already, that would automatically let you have a 30-year amortization. So you didn't really need this, okay? The other catch of it is that it has to be below $1 million. Now, in certain areas of the GTA and maybe even Vancouver, this might not actually apply because even that product, that the newly built product could be over $1 million. So this would not apply to them at all. So at the same time, what I don't understand is this. I think that there should have been one change that is made, but I didn't see it come through, which is basically the stress test, the 2% extra that they're adding on to stress test you. Based on everything that we know right now, I think it should be okay to drop this program right now. Maybe it's going to be necessary in the future when things get fired up again that they can, re-implement this program. But I think they need to relax on this right now, okay? Because where the rates are at right now, I think everyone will probably agree that they're probably not going up. They're probably coming down, or they're going to stay steady. So do we really need to add 2% to this whole thing and have people not qualify for things that they actually want to buy? So that's where I kind of found that, hey, maybe this is something that they should have looked at while they were doing this whole review. The other thing also in this budget is capital gain for investors. So don't get me wrong, if it's your principal residence, you're still exempt from capital gain tax on your principal residence, okay? As so long as it meets certain criteria, which is you've been in there for 1 year, or if there's some special circumstances, which I don't really want to get into in this video. But for the most part, your capital gain on your principal residence, there is none. But the capital gain is going to apply to investment property. So if you have an investment property, holding property in your corporation, and you go to liquidate that property, this is where you're going to see the capital gain increase. So right now, the capital gain is actually 50% on whatever the profit is. So if you've bought a property for $250,000, now it's $500,000. Well, that $250,000 is going to get taxed at 50%. You're going to have a 50% capital gain on that, okay? But now what they're saying is that it's going to be 66.67%. So they're adding that extra 16.67% onto the capital gain for anything more than $250,000 that you realize as a profit. So that could be a little bit of a downside for investors. And hey, at the end of the day, it could also be a strategy. It could be a strategy for the government to basically force investors to put some of these properties back on the market, okay? If you're an investor out there, kind of like me, that has possibly refinanced a property once or twice, and based on where the interest rates are at right now, you're probably feeding that property. And I know I am on a couple of them. And one of them, I'm feeding $1,950 a month on it, while I'm receiving $2,800 a month in rent on it. So that's a property where I could have realized around 250 or more in capital gain, probably more in capital gain than that. So that might be something that I might consider, that, hey, I'm already bleeding $2,000 a month on this thing. Like $24,000 a year is gone. And when do I think I'm actually going to be positive? Fine, if this whole year is 24,000, maybe it's 12,000 the next year and 12,000 next year. So I'm basically out like what, $50,000 on just floating a property. And then I decided to sell it there because I just don't want to hold on to it anymore. And then possibly have to pay $50,000 more on capital gain. I might just tell myself, hey buddy, let's just cut your losses right now and say, hey, let's just dump it before I have to pay the capital gain tax. I'll save myself $100,000 in the next 2-3 years. So you might start to think like that, because I know a lot of investors are already under pressure because rents have kind of softened in certain markets. They are paying out of pocket more than what they expected to do. So that could actually raise the inventory and allow inventory to get freed up at possibly the right price points. That leads me to another part of all of this, and it's not so much related to the report, but it is kind of, okay? Because what we're hearing out there in the market right now is that we don't have any inventory. There's an inventory deficit. We need more housing. We're at an all-time low in inventory. Guys, this is absolutely not true. I ran the numbers today. We actually have 60% more inventory today than we did last year. 60% more. That's no joke, okay? So inventory, lack of inventory is not a problem. The problem that we have is the mix of inventory that we actually have. The price points that we have available are not affordable for Canadians, okay? If we're talking about we don't have inventory, incorrect. We have inventory, but it might be the people that are looking for this inventory can't afford the price points that are out there right now. Now, that leads me to another thing, because this whole budget was about introducing more housing, okay? And now there is a story about possibly government land being land leased to builders, so that land cost might be eliminated, but there will still be a structure cost, which will bring down the price of housing. But how is that going to work? I look at it, and it could be completely different, but I look at it as the cottage market, because I was looking for cottages way back. You will run into cottages that are sitting on land leases, and I'll look at them and I said, not interested. Even right now, we look at people and they're like a condo townhouse. They're like, not interested, I want freehold. So I just wonder how that's gonna resonate in people's mind. The dream is to own your own home. Is that dream still alive if you own the structure and the land is leased to you by the government? I'm not sure how that's gonna rub in well. Like, hey, are they gonna use it for co-op housing, nonprofit housing? Maybe if those people don't have a choice and that's what it is, that could work. But anyone that has a real dream of home ownership, I'm not sure if that's gonna float really well with them. That also leads me to the next thing. We have a lot of inventory available, but we don't have the right mix in terms of price point. The question I have is that, are we going to be able to, as Canadians, be able to deliver that product that is actually necessary based on all the government bullshit? I hate to say it, but that's what it is. How long does it take for you to plan a development and get it approved? Like, that's BS. Like, it shouldn't be like that, especially where we are at right now with not having the right mix of inventory. So you have that problem. You have a problem with basically like the cost being too high of land, the cost being high too much for labor, material costs, all of these costs. Like, even I know some builders, it's not lucrative for them to even build anymore. So are we going to be able to deliver the product that Canadians actually want, majority of Canadians want, where they're crying that there's no inventory? And what is that price point? $500,000, $600,000, $700,000? Are we going to be able to deliver that type of product? I know I keep repeating myself, but is it realistic even of what we're trying to do? If it isn't, then where does that actually lead us? I don't think that the budget has introduced enough solutions for these type of things. That's more of a rant that I'm going on at, but like, I just wanted to point out and be very clear with everybody that we don't have an inventory problem. We have an inventory mix problem based on price points. There are a lot of other details in this budget. Not everything has passed. There's going to be probably amendments to things that are going to still happen, and there is a lot of fluff in there. At the end of the day, it is going to be taking away from people that I believe that are doing well in the market and that are business people. And I think that as the government pushes their agenda to go this way, I think that they are going to continue to experience a brain drain, and you're going to continue to see people that are looking to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because you can only get taxed so much, and you can only work so hard and know that 60% or 70% of your money is all going to go to tax. It just starts to become like, why should I be taking that risk? Because if I lose, you're not going to cover me on that loss either. These are my thoughts about Canada's budget 2024, how it has been proposed. I really hope to see some changes in there, and I would really like to know what you guys think about all of this. This is going to be a big moment for Canada with this budget, and also what's going to happen next year. And I don't want to be so politically charged, but I know this is a topic that's on a lot of people's head right now. So really interested to know if you guys would be kind enough to drop me a comment below with your thoughts on this, whether you're on my side or have the same belief as I do or not. Maybe you have something completely different that you can open my eyes to, and I would be more than happy to read your comment, and I'd love to have a little chat with everybody about this. So, and if you don't feel comfortable posting this below, but you still want to have a conversation, I have a calendar link on my calendar. Just book a slot with me, maybe 15 minutes, quickly we grab on the phone, or we have a quick Zoom call. I'd love to do that with you guys. I'd love to understand where you guys are coming from on this as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informational, found some points in it. And if you did, or even if you didn't, just do me a favor, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. I really feel like we have some really cool points that we drop here, and I wouldn't want you guys to miss it. So please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, guys, remember one thing: get Kabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.